we are going to be watching the next one, which is the county board meeting.
Coronavirus emergency. The Biden administration announcing a plan for those booster shots. Round 3 for Americans who received the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, expected to roll out September 20th to be administered to people 8 months after getting that second dose. So let's go to Trevor Alt, who has more at a very hard-hit hospital in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Amy. They have now opened 8 separate ICUs just for COVID patients in every corner here at Baton Rouge General Medical Center, to the point one critical care nurse told me she legitimately doesn't even know where they all are inside. These healthcare workers are seeing the devastation of the Delta variant, and the hope is that these booster shots will prevent it from getting even worse in the future.
This morning, the Biden administration telling vaccinated Americans who received the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine to start planning for a third dose.
8 months after your second shot, get a booster shot. It will make you safer and for longer, and it will help us end the pandemic faster.
Health officials citing recent data showing the vaccine's protection against COVID slowly decreasing over time, leaving many more at risk for severe illness. Our George Stephanopoulos sitting down with the president just hours after the announcement, asking if he and his wife had received a booster yet.
We're going to get the booster shots, and it's something that I think, because we got our shots all the way back in, I think, December. So it's past time.
The booster shots will be available for free with no insurance or ID required. The program rolling out the week of September 20th. A program already protecting many of the immunocompromised, like 28-year-old Christine Smith.
I can't wait to get my fucking update, boys. DLC time, baby.
The CDC and FDA recommended it on Friday, and I went and got my booster on Sunday.
We went inside Baton Rouge General Medical Center, where they're treating nearly 200 infected patients, more than any other time in the pandemic, and more than 90% of them are unvaccinated.
We want to...
Uh-oh, complete pivot from the siblingship percent match versus DNA match after looking at evidence of DNA match by siblings versus twin because you can't fucking read. I'm the dumb one. Okay, dude. Bundle of sticks incarnate. Oh... That's a really cute way of trying to say the F word, man. Like, you pathetic little sniveling coward. Yeah. Love that. Like, Gusano is just worm. Oh my god, I know where this fucking... Oh, I know where this pussy's coming from. Suck my fucking cock. Hey, notice how you wrote Gusano, but you said bundle of sticks? Immediately destroying the own argument that you fucking put forward? Why did you not write G-word, dog? What happened? It's such a bad word, and yet you fucking wrote it outright. But you said bundle of sticks. Woo! Oh, no, dude. That's fucked up. Weird how that happened. Also, that's crazy. He can't see you nor hear you when you ban him. No, he can still see and hear me. He just can't write in the fucking chat anymore. Very odd. What community is breeding a bunch of fucking hostility simultaneously for, the G word, Gusano, while also literally fucking running with the psychopathic fucking conspiracy theory that Ilhan Omar married their brother? Jesus Christ, dude. What a fucking idiot. Holy shit. Calling people hogs is a slur? Oh, yeah, 100%.
Take everybody that we possibly can and do everything we can for people, but we don't have the means for it.
39-year-old disaster relief worker Jessica Cooper is fighting back from COVID, at one point even typing a goodbye text to her 11-year-old daughter.
What's wild is that, like, we have the third booster shot coming in while... like, fucking countries haven't been able to distribute vaccines, like first shots, to most of their fucking citizens.
Thinking she wouldn't survive.
If I don't make it, just know that you will always be surrounded by love, and mommy will always be here with you.
And health officials continue to stress the unvaccinated...
Why is that crazy? Well, the fucking international community is freaking the fuck out. One, on America, and also two, on international pharmaceutical corporations that would offer America booster shots before, like, offering the delivery of first shots or any vaccine doses to, like, the developing nations. Now, the irony, of course, is that the Delta variant, which is the reason why we now need booster shots here in America, literally was created as a consequence of, like, the vaccine development discrepancy. This is the nefarious and shitty part of how pharmaceutical corporations fuck you. Not that they are, like, developing booster shots and that's bad, but the way that they fuck you is by selling the fucking vaccines to United States and not releasing the pharmaceutical patterns, the patents, so that everyone can have the vaccine, which would render the booster shots useless ultimately when every country reaches herd immunity, or at least greatly reduces the chances that we need booster shots. That's it. That's the face of a fucking big pharma CEO.
You are by far the most at risk from this virus. And the doctors that I spoke to said the breakthrough infections they're seeing are almost exclusively among the elderly and the immunocompromised. But it's still a wise idea for everyone to plan on getting their booster shot to make sure your protection stays up to par. Guys.
All right, Trevor Ault, thank you for that.
I'm not running an ad at 4, even though it is top of the fucking hour. And the reason for why is because I accidentally ran a second ad only 11 minutes after I had run a top of the hour ad. So this is an ad-free hour.
The heated debate over masks is escalating into physical altercations in various states across the nation. In Texas, a parent ripped...
That physical altercation that happened in Los Angeles, California featured Proud Boys who literally had, like, what is it called? It's like a weird fucking name for it. It's like a short blade that is specifically, it's a short knife that you use. It's like a shank, but it's not really a shank. But it's a short knife used to break your fucking ribs without, like, piercing the skin or something. A ginjo? Is that what it is? That sounds like a slur. No, it's not a tanto. No, I think it was like a kubot. Yes, I think that's what it was. A kubotan, I think. Here. It's a self-defense keychain weapon. It is typically no more than 5.5 inches. Slightly thicker. Yeah. That's what it is.
7 months already.
Or wait, it might be a... Was it a kukri or something? It could have been a kukri. I don't remember. No, it's not a kukri. No. That's like actually a fucking machete, dude. No. It probably was this then. Yeah, but it's literally made to like jab you. It's literally made to jab you and break your fucking break your rib cage. Anyway, there's psychopaths.
In Texas.
Like, the fucking fascists are insane.
A parent ripping a teacher's face mask during a Meet the Teacher event Monday, according to Eanes School District Superintendent Tom Leonard.
Let's just leave the mask wars out of the schools.
In a letter to parents and staff, Leonard calling it a physical assault on a teacher by a parent.
So you want to fight those wars, fight them somewhere else, but don't mess with the teachers. They have a hard enough job right now.
In Northern California, an elementary school teacher was hospitalized last week after a parent attacked him during a verbal argument over face masks, a district official says.
It was originally between the parent and the principal, and the teacher intervened at that point. The female principal intervened to say, hey, it's time to go. Like, you stop.
The teacher was stitched up for cuts and lacerations to his face. Police responded to the scene and are investigating. The parent was not arrested. The superintendent there sending a letter to parents saying assaulting a staff member will never be tolerated on any school campus. At this protest outside the Los Angeles City Hall, where dozens of demonstrators waved signs opposing COVID-19 mitigation efforts, it was a news reporter who fell victim. This video capturing his hat getting knocked off and his glasses ripped from his head while he tried to do an interview, according to his Twitter post.
Just exploded pretty quickly, and unfortunately this is a pattern we've seen at a few other protests around LA.
The tension and misinformation flowing into county board meetings like this one in San Diego.
Your children and your children's children will be subjugated. They will be asked, how many vaccines have you had? Have you been a good little Nazi? Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci!
And into school boardrooms in Florida, too.
We also had the bird flu.
The debate today in Miami-Dade stretching out for hours.
That you know what is better for our children, better than the parents and the mothers who have to give birth to those children.
At the same time, this in Hillsborough County in the Tampa area.
We are surrendering our children to a pandemic of sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
This Louisiana State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education meeting was adjourned after a ruckus crowd refused to put on masks. In Tennessee last week, the chaos started inside the school boardroom.
We know who you are. No more masks.
And then spilled into the street. With crowds heckling and threatening officials leaving the meeting after they approved a temporary mask mandate. Sheriff's deputies having to intervene to help officials leave the premises.
Parents shouldn't feel threatened for their lives walking into a parking lot. That is not the America I know.
As the unrest over masks grows, educators warn children are watching and learning. Rosa Flores, CNN, Dallas.
I'm in the 7th largest district in America, that's Hillsborough County. Behind me is an elementary school. I talked to a mother there yesterday who showed me a text message coming in from the school saying, hey, a kid here has COVID, we've had to quarantine kids. That's happened to kids all over this district. And yet here in Florida, people are debating masks and the very mitigation strategies needed to try and slow this spread down.
The battle over masks rages on in Florida as 3 more school boards vote to implement mask mandates for students. Overnight, Palm Beach County School Board defied Governor Ron DeSantis' order against requiring masks, passing a mask mandate for students by a vote of 6-1. Florida's largest school district, Miami-Dade County, also passing a similar measure 7-1, with no option for parents to opt out.
20 years has.
Protests advocating for and against the mask mandate intensifying outside the building as the school board debated for hours.
This is not a drill. We are in a pandemic right now. Please amend H17 and make masks mandatory.
Forcing the mask, you're assaulting parents, you're assaulting children.
Hillsborough County, Florida School Board also voting to enforce a similar mask mandate for students. Protesters against the mandate yelling at our CNN crew while we were interviewing one concerned mother.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to our children. It's disrespectful to my kids who can't get vaccinated because they're not old enough. And it's really, really upsetting that we have people like that disrespecting people who just want to protect our kids' health.
Nearly 1,500 students and more than 500 teachers have tested positive for coronavirus in Hillsborough County, and more than 10,000 students are quarantining.
We are surrendering our children to a pandemic of sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Even given these alarming figures, DeSantis said this about students quarantining.
I think quarantining healthy kids deprives these kids of an ability to get an education. Now, maybe a parent would want a healthy kid to be quarantined if there's an exposure, but I think that should be the choice of the parent.
The tension over masks boiling over in other states too. In Louisiana, a state school board meeting was forced to adjourn after it descended into chaos during a debate over masks. And in Texas, a parent ripped a face mask off a teacher's face.
At least respect the person who is wearing the mask. But they are on the front lines of teaching kids during a pandemic. Let's give them a little space and a little grace.
Now, John, we are in the school year. This is the second school year we've had during this pandemic. People know how this works at this point. And the difference this time is this Delta variant that here in Florida is putting thousands of kids in isolation as the school year begins, just a few days into it. Yet yesterday, talking about this battle between the governor and these major counties here in this state, Miami-Dade County passing that mask mandate in violation of the governor's order, in defiance of the governor. The governor telling CNN forced masking of all school children is not consistent with protecting parents' rights to make health and education decisions for their own children. So now moving forward, parents just don't know what's going to happen. The school boards have made their decision. The masks are on in places like here, Hillsborough County. By the coming days, the governor might come in and change that again. All this debate happening whilst kids are actually in school around other kids who may or may not have COVID.
Let's bring in Broward County School Board Chair Rosalind Osgood. Thank you very much, Rosalind, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
What is the message to your community and to parents who say, well, you know, the governor says, you know, the parents should be deciding?
Well, you know, we get into cars, and if I'm driving in my car and I put my 6-year-old granddaughter, Kyla, or my 17-month-old grandbabe, Gabe, in the car, I have to put them in a car seat and a seatbelt. I don't have a right as a grandparent. My daughter and son-in-law doesn't have a right as a parent. When it comes to this public health crisis that we're in, with a pandemic that is impacting people in a way that it never has before, Florida has become the epicenter for the coronavirus. Our positivity rates here are higher than ever before. It is impossible to bring 30,000 employees, 270 students into a school and on school buses where you can't practice social distancing. So you have to use the mitigating tools that you have in your toolbox. Vaccinations, and we know that there are a lot of people that are not vaccinated. Children under 12 don't even have an option to be vaccinated. We have to use masks. Everybody has to wear a mask. We have to wash our hands and try not to gather in large groups. It is just no.
I will not wear a seatbelt, and I will keep driving drunk, brother. And the government, the nanny state, can't tell me. Can't tell me. I will not be able to drive drunk. It's freedom, brother.
No way to bring students back in face-to-face learning with at least 27 or 28 individuals in a classroom and have masks be optional. It's like you playing Russian roulette with people's lives.
You've lost teachers and employees to COVID. I want to make sure people understand that. Now your county only has 5 pediatric ICU beds. Are the families, forget about the politicians, are the families getting the message? And have you been seeing compliance?
We have. Today was the first day of school. I had an opportunity, along with our superintendent and other school board members, to visit about 8 schools. Parents were real grateful that we stuck to the mask mandate. Today we had only 2 incidents, 1 teacher and 1 student that did not want to wear a mask. So overall, everybody is complying. Parents express how they feel safer and how thankful they were that we chose the lives of their children over following.
Are you against the use of a mask? I want vaccine mandates. I want vaccine mandates. That's what I want. But in the absence of vaccine mandates, then yeah, like you got to fucking wear a mask.
3 months Pog.
How's this dude on CNN after the sexual assault allegations? There wasn't sexual assault allegations against him. They were against his brother, and he defended his brother. And the answer to your question is ratings.
A surprising death.
Here's a funny little story before we move on to the last Jewish person in Afghanistan and a bunch of other fun stuff.
Up at the grocery store when Curb Your Enthusiasm star Larry David got into a shouting match with attorney Alan Dershowitz. Stephen Fabian reports.
It's war between two legends, comedian Larry David and...
What do you mean legends, dude?
Plus.
The fuck do you mean? Like, Larry David is a legend. The Dersh is not a legend, dude. What the fuck?
Legal eagle Alan Dershowitz. The two former friends ran into each other on vacation on Martha's Vineyard, the vacation hideaway for the rich and famous, where President Obama just held his 60th birthday party. It happened at a quaint general store.
Larry came over and I said hello, and he said nothing, and I said, can't we talk? He said, no, you're disgusting. And he just continued to yell and scream at me. His face got red. I thought he was going to have a stroke.
Dershowitz says he was taken aback by the verbal barrage.
I helped his daughter get into college. I represented him once pro bono. He spoke at my retirement dinner, made a funny speech.
Dershowitz.
Yeah, and then he found out that you, like, I don't know, worked with Jeffrey Epstein and were a fan of Donald Trump and numerous other things that occurred probably since then that, you know, changes the outlook that someone may or may not have on you, you know? Court findings were, or at least victims of a notorious international sex trafficker, convicted pedophile. Victims of that person said that you had also assaulted them. So, I don't know, that kind of sours you on a person, I think.
Says he has lost many of his liberal friends on Martha's Vineyard after representing Donald Trump at his first impeachment trial.
He and many of my former friends turned against me.
Apparently, Larry David said it's disgusting.
Also, Larry David is a bit of a lib, like, not a bit of a lib, he's a huge lib. Who did he give money to, remember?
Your whole enclave, it's disgusting. You're disgusting. How do you respond to that?
Well, I'm not going to get into the gutter with him.
I bet he like, I bet he actually fucking
able to watch the stream whenever.
I bet he actually doesn't like Dershowitz because Dershowitz was like a fan of Donald Trump, though, more than everything else.
It's not a stretch to see Larry David giving someone a piece of his mind.
Think I want to sit here with a wobbly table?
He does it on every...
You gave money to Kirsten Gillibrand, lib. I gave $1 to Kirsten Gillibrand as a meme, and I don't even remember what the fucking meme was about.
Every episode of his long-running HBO show, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Not one person spoke to you except me, and now I'm being punished for it?
I wonder what it was for. I don't even remember.
Pretty sad.
Larry David did not respond to our request for comment.
Yeah, I wonder why, dude. All right, let's watch. This is Zablon Simitnov. He is the last remaining Jewish person in Afghanistan.
Zablon Simitov.
I am only one Jewish Afghanistan. Covered. Very good.
Very good.
I love this dude. I absolutely love this dude.
Before 1945, Afghanistan had thousands of Jews, mostly living in the western city of Herat. But they all left for Israel, Europe, and the US because of war, except for Zablon, who still remains.
He's so dead, bro. No, he fucking is not. This man has single-handedly defeated the Taliban. I don't know if they will mention it in this video, So I don't want to spoil it, but I'll tell you why.
This man is the last Afghan Jew living in Afghanistan, a country of 36 million people. Just wait until you hear the rest of his story. As a Jew myself, I am proud of my religion. It's something that always stays with me when I travel, and even though I'm not religious, I like to connect with Jewish communities around the world. So yesterday, when I found out about Zablon, I booked a last-minute flight to Kabul, and the search was on to find him. After asking around a few times,
this is it?
Oh, they say it's upstairs.
Oh, all right. I guess we found it.
Sure enough, I tracked him down on the 3rd floor of this old apartment complex.
Salam alaikum. How are you?
Come in. You from?
I'm from the U.S.
New York.
U.S., but I'm Jewish.
You Jewish?
Yes. Nice to meet you.
یا ماشی و کل شما کل سوام خلیم یا ماشی ملاتش also ویشون یا ماشی میکم ملاتش also.
So how do you practice your Judaism as the only Jew in Afghanistan?
آنتانیو اون کالاندر بچه که من میکاره که اصلاف اسرائیل جنتیلی کالاندر.
I fucking love this dude.
A Jewish calendar. My cousin brought this from Israel, and I have a lot of other books. I do take care of the days and everything and the timings. And
this is an old video.
There all the time just from this calendar.
Born in 1959, Zablon and his family come from Herat. He was a successful businessman for decades, making a fortune trading carpets, and traveled all over the world for business.
Wait, you think that guy's a Zionist? So beware. First of all, yeah, I mean he could be. But that makes it even funnier because there's a second part of the story that I know is not featured in here. Just wait, I'm going to tell you everything about it.
He came back to Kabul in the early 90s and woke up one morning to realize that all his carpets were robbed at customs by the Mujahideen when they overthrew the government.
Everybody took it and escaped, and it was robbed and stolen and theft.
Soon after, the Taliban took control of Kabul and they threw Zablon into jail, beating him up and destroying most of his possessions, including his beloved Torah.
That's really sad.
They broke it. Really? When?
Yes.
The Taliban destroyed all of this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh
That's really fucked
that's
up.
Horrible.
They tried to
that's like an ancient ass Torah too. That's like really fucked up.
force him to convert to Islam, but he wouldn't give in.
It says, in general, it says the Taliban was creating a problem for Jews. They just wanted their Islam and they didn't even want Shias. And he's asking me that you don't know this and you ask me.
Does the Taliban know about him being here now?
Yes, they know.
Is he scared?
He says, I'm not afraid. For 4 months I was in their prison and he says I don't care.
So within a few years, he went from a rich businessman to being broke and under control of the Taliban.
Wait, come on. He doesn't mention why they let him out of prison? And it wasn't just him. There were 2 Jewish people living in Afghanistan at the time. One of them unfortunately passed away in 2004 or 2005 or something. Okay? So they arrested both of them. Okay? So the Taliban arrested both of them. So I'm just going to tell you right now. And they released him. Because, I mean, he's not in prison. Dude. They released him because they were fucking so annoying, dude. They would constantly fucking fight. So ultimately, they were just like, all right, just go. I don't care. I love this story, dude. They literally were just like, dude, come on, just go. There's more, though. They would fight each other all the time. They were neighbors. The 2 remaining Jewish people in Afghanistan were neighbors, and they were literally fighting all the fucking time. Okay? Nonstop. And then they were arrested and jailed, and then they kept fighting in jail. The last Jews in Afghanistan argued so much the Taliban kicked them out of prison and stole their Torah. As the old saying goes, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. Add 1 headache for the Taliban. He lives in Afghanistan's last standing synagogue, which he renovated himself in the heart of Kabul's Flower District. Every Shabbat he reads the Torah from the bima of the old sanctuary. Everyone in the streets knows him. He's very salient and sometimes very choleric, but we have fun with him. But yeah, oh, here it is. In 1998, Levi wrote that the Taliban interior minister accused Sementov of the theft of Jewish relics. Sementov retorted by telling the Taliban that Levi ran a secret brothel where he sold alcohol, which Levi denies. Sementov also spread rumors that Levi had converted to Islam, which Levi denied as well. They just kept going back and forth and telling the Taliban government that they were fucking... When he returned, Sementov encountered Yitzhak Levi, nearly 2 decades his senior, living at the Kabul synagogue. The two did not hit it off. They fought viciously about which of them was the rightful owner of the land. So then they ultimately moved into the different wings of the synagogue. Sementov said, I don't talk to him. He's the devil. He told the New York Times in 2002, a dog is better than him. I don't have many complaints about the Taliban, but I have a lot of complaints about him. Levi replied that Sementov was a thief and a liar. He said, I don't care about the Taliban. The Taliban was so annoyed by their constant fighting that they threw them in jail. But they eventually kicked them out of jail when they continued to fight inside the prison. Levi died in 2005. The Taliban beat me a lot, Sementov told Foreign Policy. I was imprisoned several times because of the charlatan Levi. He wanted to get rid of me to sell the synagogue, but thank God he was not successful. Unfortunately, though, they stole the 15th century Torah, which was sad, very sad. It's like an artifact. Sementov vows to find the Torah and to keep up his search until his dying days. He still believes that the Torah will resurface, but whether the Holy Scripture reemerges or not, there will be at least one Jew waiting for it, and he will continue to stay in Kabul. It's a beautiful story. And by the way, there is more. Let's continue.
Meanwhile, his wife and 2 daughters left for Israel. Zablon was eventually freed, and he has made his home here in Kabul to be the sole caretaker of this synagogue.
Okay, so we're now entering the synagogue. Oh, that's amazing. It's the only synagogue in Afghanistan. Wow. A Jewish start. And it's super cool. Like, one of the most special experiences I've ever had on all my travels is right now.
Miraculously, he has kept Orthodox, studying Torah.
I can't believe this dude did not mention like the funniest aspects of this guy's entire existence. Oh, there's a video of them arguing. He's chasing all of my customers. One played the drum, the other I don't know. But you said they didn't play well.
خب چی کنم ابو صدری نیامد اومد گفت بهش گفتم شما مجله داریم اومد من بهش گفتم گفت خب زولان باز ریزنی کرد زولان گفتن گفتی بشه از اون رو گوشم شما بیا
He's in the background and said, what did you say about me, you scoundrel? I piss on your beard?
چرا دو میزنی زولان دیونه شدی چی بلا گپ بدی نگفتم من به تو گفتم صدری دینی میگی بیا صدری دینی میگی بیا یه براش تار بزن چی دو میزنی زولان من تو چی گفتم چی گفتم من تو را اینو چی میگه؟ اینه من به تک برای تکفی ندارم اینه دان اینجا شیشه بیادش فرسان کن اگه دان اینجا شیشه بیا فرسان کن این من برای توش گفتم زولان دیونه شدی چی بلا من به تک بدی نگفتم دان اینجا شاشته اینه یه سال نان میخوره بیا من به تک بدی نگفتم تو میزنی دیگه چی کار داری؟ پدر میگی، مرده میگی، زن میگی، فاش میگی، هر چی میخوای میگی. چرا بیگناه بشی تقصیر؟ اسرائیلی چی شد؟ افریقی چی شد؟ دوستی رفیقی چی شد؟ به نکی با پدرت کردم، با مادرت کردم، با برادرت کردم. تو که یک بار هم برباد کردی. من گویی من نصارا من گابر من ترسات تو خوب. او یالا کار من دیگه یالا کار. من هر چی که تو میگی من هستم چی میگی؟ داده من یالا کن تو خوب من بعد
گوش نمیکنم
من بعد سگ بارونو به جون میفته ببینی چی میگه؟
گوش نمیکنم
من به تو گپی ندارم میگو سعددین گفتم سعددین گفتم زولان گفتی پیشه دو بره تو خواب پیشه دو بره تو به جان من میده پدر مرده و زنده فاش کنی میگی
He said you're a I don't know what a triple goy would mean, but goy is a gentile, yeah, non-Jewish person. Like he's saying you're
titties.
Why do they hate each other so much? We already talked about it. They were just like constantly lying about one another.
Torah,
like all
practicing
the time.
Shabbat, and keeping kosher.
In 1992, I went to Tashkent on Uzbekistan and I learned how to do the slaughtering stuff. And he says, I never buy food from here, from the bazaar.
When I asked him if he wants to move to Israel, he said, "Why? This is my country and I am not going to leave." What an experience it's been to connect with Zablon and hear his stories. His courage, his persistence, and his passion is exceptional. There's a special bond that was shared between us, and it's something that I'll remember forever.
Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
Ken,
Laila Tov. Wow, that was an insane experience. Meeting that guy and talking about Judaism in Afghanistan, of all places. Good night, guys.
Okay, so it doesn't even end there. It's very. This is why I said I love this dude. It's a really cool fucking story. So there's more to the story. Okay. So the last remaining Jew in Afghanistan, when the latest takeover happened, okay, Israeli authorities said, "Hey, we'll evacuate you. Okay, we'll move you to Israel." And of course, unsurprisingly, he said, "Fuck no." And there's a couple different reasons. One of which is because he refuses to give his wife Jewish divorce, and that he will not be moving anywhere. I will not leave my home. If I had left, there would have been no one to maintain the synagogue. I had the opportunity to leave for the U.S., but I gave up. Or he, wasn't interested. His wife and 2 daughters have been living in Israel since 1998, but Simentov has stayed in Afghanistan to tend to the Long Synagogue, located in Kabul. Attempts have been made to assist his Israeli wife for years, though he is yet to agree to give her a divorce. Like the absolute fucking Sigma male he is.
Big love daddy Arjan, hope her back
He's refusing
throw it out ASAP.
to divorce his wife, who's been living in Israel since 1998, dude. Rabbi Pinchas Goldschmidt, the chief rabbi of Moscow, wrote on Twitter that he had offered to fly to Afghanistan to administer the divorce, but Simantov refused. As halacha, Jewish law, requires the husband to voluntarily grant his wife a divorce, many women are rendered agunot, literally chained women, as they are chained to their marriages if they aren't given a get. So he's holding motherfucking frame, baby. Not leaving.
Leave Kabul, fearing
and not
persecution
divorcing.
by the Taliban. But there are a few who have decided to stay even though they know that dark days are coming. One of them is Afghanistan's last Jew. Zebulon Simontov said that he had the chance to escape to the US, but he is unwilling to leave his home. He had also mulled moving to Israel, where his family lives. The 62-year-old had said that the Taliban considers him an infidel. Simentov was born in Afghanistan's Herat province and has spent his life witnessing turmoil. He has seen it all: the Soviet invasion, the Afghan civil war, and the first Taliban rule. He is now bracing himself for the second Islamic Emirate regime. Simentov has said that the Taliban tried to convert him in the past.
سیکا اینجا مثلا میرن آجه مسلمان میرن آجه دیودیا سیکا اینجا نداره 10 سال دیگه کار پیچید شده نمیشه دیگه بریش بذار شلاق کبر تو همون طالب 21 سال پیش همون طالبه.
He said that he even went to prison 4 times. So what made him stay on? The 62-year-old is the caretaker of the last operational synagogue in Kabul. He said that the synagogue would have fallen into despair had it not been for him. 70 years ago, Afghanistan was home to 5,000 Jews, but their population began dwindling after 1948, when Jews started migrating to Israel. The remaining Jews left following years of turmoil, which culminated into the Taliban's rule. Our correspondent Anas Malik gets you more.
The last Jew in Afghanistan goes to stay back and remain in his country, regardless of whosoever rules the country. Anas Malik in Kabul, Afghanistan, for WION World is One.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.
Sen öyle yapmıyorsun. Ben her zaman öyle yapıyordum. Sana söylemedim. Evet. This is literally a movie, dude. This experience is unironically a movie. Straight up. Get the rights, produce it. I mean, it's literally a come town bit. So we talked about the Pornhub thing. All right. Oh, here is the other thing: impersonating the world's most successful mega church pastor.